We've had some big wins. That might be the biggest win of the year right there for us. And for a lot of reasons. Number one, we talked about coming into the homestand and having a good homestand. And then Chris Young, who's, he really had a rough first half to come through in a big way. It's great for him. He's a tremendous teammate, and guys only want him to have success. And so, there's a lot of pieces to that win today. That's why it's big.
What made you stick with him when they brought in the righty?
He's faced him and got a hit off him. And, one thing Chris provides is that power. And, I thought when they brought in Morris, Chris has faced me, went and talked to LJ, and LJ said, look for, you can get a breaking ball because that's his big pitch, and great at bat.
Who's next? We talked before the game about Murphy and what a special week this is going to be. You talk about what was going through your mind with that play, and he seemed to be pretty elated by kind of giving it to a fan for a souvenir right afterwards.
Yeah, well, Dan's very excited. He's so pumped up, and he should be. Again, it's a tremendous tribute to one of the hardest working players you'll ever be around, and big play for him. But he's gassed. I mean, he's got some more days he's got to get through. But that's what he does. He seems like he shows up in the right spot at the right time.
What was it like to have a large and loud crowd here today?
Well, it's tremendous, and that's why, that's what this town can be like if you're having success, and that's what we're hoping for when we come out of the break. That we're playing well and people want to buy tickets to come to see us play because we have not quit all year long. It's a fun team to be around. It's a fun team to watch play, and this is what you get. I mean, you get them excited. That's why playing in New York's exciting. We've talked about what it's like playing here, that we don't have a great record here. Well, the other teams like to play here too because there's no bigger stage to play on than when you come to New York City.
Terry, you've talked about how with Campbell, you can't always put him in the line because you got so many other people, but you like the fact that you can have Soup there for a situation like that. Is that kind of what you're talking about there? Is that the perfect situation there?
It is. It's a perfect situation for us. He hits lefties. He hits them very well. You don't worry about having to use three players. A guy to pinch run or a guy to go play defense. He can go in and play defense. It was the perfect scenario for him, and of course he got a big hit.
I'm sure there's an element of surprise with the suicide squeeze. So do you have to think to yourself, hey, do I want to try to do it to the same team twice with the same guy in third in 3 weeks?
Yeah, pretty much. I thought about it. But I just kind of after the second pitch, I said, they might be just trying to pitch around him to get to Daisuke. And I said, I'm just going to take a shot here. So,
Terry, you talked before this stretch, and you just touched on it before, about what these two series are going to mean, and even Sandy talked about the importance of them. What does this mean for your team, considering all the stuff that was going on before the Braves series started about trade rumors and all that? Does it kind of give you new life?
Yeah, it's new life, but again, that's baseball, and you set yourself up. If you don't play well, there's a lot of talk, and that's part of the process here, and you got to go through it. And as I've told the guys whose names have been mentioned in trade talks, you're going to be mentioned in trade talks because you're good players. But you know what? We've got a long way to go. We got a game yet tomorrow. We want to win bad, but it certainly adds a lot of extra spice to the week and what's going on. And again, to reiterate what we've been trying to say all year long, and that is if we start putting some things together and start to execute a little bit better offensively, we're going to win some games.
Travis obviously went down to AAA, came back, and you've slowly kind of been elevating him in the lineup a little bit positionally in the fifth spot. Can you talk about in the fifth spot, obviously in this game, big 2-out hit in the eighth, but can you talk about what he brings in that fifth spot?
Well, in that part of the lineup, you really want some guys who can do damage, and right now he's been doing damage. Yeah, he's been swinging good, he's been getting some hits, but the one thing he's been doing is hitting the ball over the fence. And so I thought having a guy like that behind Lucas, hey, look, this next guy behind him can hit homers too and swinging good. So kind of protects Lucas a little bit, and that's why he's been moved up to that spot.
Terry, just comment on Daisuke. Gets 10 strikeouts today and an error behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Daisuke's done everything we've asked him to do. Everything. He's He pitched very well today. You know, he looked up and they had, 2 hits and 2 runs, and he kept us in the game and went deep in the game, threw a lot of pitches. It doesn't bother him. He isn't fazed by it. He knows all the talk that's going on, that, Nice is coming back and maybe next week and he doesn't care. Dice just wants to pitch. And you know what? We're very, very lucky to have him on this club, because no matter what happens next week, we know when we put him in the game, we're going to get all the effort he can give us.
Piggybacking on that, given how well Jacob deGrom has pitched, assuming Nice is healthy, is there a fair chance Daisuke is in the bullpen?
Well, yeah, again, Adam, I can't address that right at this moment, but certainly, there may be a situation where when we talk here tomorrow, that we talk about maybe putting Jake, and watch his innings as we're going in to start the second half, and let him have a blow for a week or so. I don't know, but I mean, it's been talked about before that. With all those young guys, we're going to take a break this summer. Syndergaard and Montero and deGrom, and back off their innings a little bit. But and that'll be discussed tomorrow.
Terry, for a guy who doesn't have a lot of major league at bats, Campbell seems to say very composed, 2-strike situations, clutch situations. Are you surprised by that at all?
Ed, I tell you, the time David was out, I think really, really helped him. He was in there every day in the big leagues, and playing in some tough places, and I think he got a great feel for his game and what he's got to do and what the opposition does at this level. And I think with 2 strikes, he's comfortable. He always has been, and that's what you'll see. Again, one of the things about him is he just puts it in play. That's why he's dangerous. It doesn't have to be a ball over the fence or a ball along. He just wants to get a hit, and at that time he took the base hit up the middle, but. I really think those extra ABs that week helped him.
A couple more, Jerry. Terry, obviously you guys are going to enjoy the time off, the All-Star break. Was there a little part of you that would like to see, play on Monday, play on Tuesday, just the way you guys have been rolling, that you don't want to really break it up?
I mean, that's very true. And the answer to that is yeah. But one of the things that I think has also ignited some energy around here is that we're going to get a break. And these guys know it's coming, and they need it. There's about 4 of them that probably won't be very active during the 4 days, but they're certainly going to. They've played hard, and like I said, we got one more. It'd be very, very satisfying to come out here tomorrow with another win, because that would go into that break on a real big note.
You talked about watching the innings of guys like deGrom. In his case, I mean, he hasn't really pitched out of the bullpen. So if you're going to watch his innings, are you going to put him in the bullpen? Is that sort of what you guys are discussing now as far as watching?
Well, at this level, Mark, it's really hard to protect a starting pitcher. You're trying to win games here. This is, you can do it in the minor leagues because you're developing. But if he's going to be in a rotation, he's not a guy we're taking out after 5 innings. He's going to, so we're going to, he just say, hey, look, we're going to watch your load, your innings load, your pitch count. So, after 5, you're going to come out today. You can't do that up here. So if the only other option is you have to put him in the bullpen if you're going to watch innings limits, or if there's going to be innings limits, so you got to be careful with them. So, again, that's all stuff that'll be discussed tomorrow.